For my presentation that I thought I did the best on was the first introduction video. I was completely myself. I remember I only took one take instead of multiple takes like I did all the other ones. I was so nervous for all of my speeches. So I think my first introduction video, my hair was a mess. I was in my pajamas. I just felt the most comfortable, the most like myself. So that is why that was my favorite presentation. If I could redo any presentation, it would be the one right after that, the formal one where we had to dress up, because I just hate how I look in that video. It even makes me uncomfortable to see it on my YouTube channel, so I would redo that one. I would look more appropriate to myself, I guess, is what I would do. 2 things I learned about presenting to an audience and why I feel they're important. I learned that it's not as hard as I thought it was, especially because I knew the audience. I think that's why it helped, but after time I got better and more comfortable in my own skin, so I learned that. Another thing I learned is that I just need to practice more. Whenever you know your speech better, you're not as nervous, my face doesn't get as red, so that is something I learned. A piece of advice I'd give to someone regarding presentation visuals: understand whatever you're presenting. If you have no idea what you're looking at and what you're speaking of, you're just gonna end up staring at this visual and not really explaining it as well to your audience as you would like to. Sorry, I'm outside obviously, so it's a little harder to see my laptop for the questions. Dealing with nervousness, so I kind of already touched on this. Just know your speech, practice it in front of the mirror. If you have to practice it in front of your friends or your family, you can get tips and pointers from everybody, especially people you're comfortable with. They're not afraid to tell you how it is and give it to you straight. So that's something I would suggest. Wisdom on using a webcam for school and professional communications. Buy a nice webcam, because like with me, I am weird about how I look and certain like lights and stuff, and so I bought a nice webcam so I can kind of adjust it, and then I feel more comfortable with how I look. And if you buy a nicer one, it uploads better, so the quality's nicer, it's not so pixelated, stuff like that. The singing pig assignment and how it would be useful. Oh, that one was actually hard for me because I used my friend's singing pig instead of my own, so thankfully I don't have a lot of singing pigs in my life. One lesson I learned, I think it's always easiest to take a second to think about the problem before you go and address it, because sometimes your emotions shine through your words more than you want them to, and then all of a sudden you're arguing about something you don't even know like why you're arguing about it. It's not even why you were arguing or what the conflict was. So take some time. Sometimes I've written a letter before, and I'll do bullet points of what I want to talk about, and I just focus on those. That way I don't stray away from the topic. And lastly, what's one thing I'd like to work on regarding my communication in my personal life? I often tiptoe around the subject because I'm too afraid of hurt other people's feelings or how it's going to make me look, and I think honesty is the best policy, and I'm a strong believer in that.